into the CHGO Blackhawks podcast. It is a Sunnyside summer Friday. I hope you're having a good one on this hot day. I'm Jay Zawaski with Greg Boysen and Mario Tirabassi. Thanks for joining us here today. Make sure you smash that like button on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page. Podcasters, make sure you follow or subscribe on your favorite app and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. People love redrafts. We're going to do a pair of them today. The 2003 NHL Draft and the 2008 NHL Draft. We're going to redo the top 15 from those drafts, and there's going to be some pretty massive changes, as you'd imagine, pretty much with every redraft, but especially these two. Before we do, we want to let everybody know about our upcoming CHGO Kickoff Classic at Cog Hill. Yep, that is our inaugural golf outing. That is August 25th at 9 a.m. You get 18 holes with a cart, exclusive CHGO and Pins and Aces polo for all players, hole contest, giveaways, prizes, lunch, drinks, a ceremony after the round, and you get to hang out with us, of course, which is an added bonus or the opposite of a bonus, whatever you would call that. But it's going to be a great time. Really looking forward to it. If you want to sign up, allchgo.com is the place to go. You can buy just you, a twosome, a foursome. There's whole sponsorships. There's all sorts of things available. So go to allchgo.com. Navigate over to that events page for all the info on our inaugural CHGO Kickoff Classic. I'm really looking forward to that, fellas.
Yes, I too am ready to get out on the links and play with our fellow coworkers and our CHGO diehards. It's gonna be a great time. CHGO fans, we got a great community building over the last year plus that we've been around. And hey, I mean, what goes better together for golf fans than summer, or for hockey fans than summer and golf? It's what every hockey player says if they weren't a professional hockey player that they would be, is a golfer. So I feel like if I had more time on my hands, I would be golfing as much as possible. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna get a few rounds in ahead of time, and I'm hoping to win the prize, top prize, whatever it is, the Connor Bedard of golf prizes.
Yeah, I will not be winning that. I'll be happy to finish second to last. I'll call that a win. But you know what? It's going to be nice. There's going to be beers. There's going to be camaraderie, so I'm down. Let's do it. Yep. All right, so we're going to redraft a pair of drafts today. We're going to do the top 15 from 2003 and the top 15 from 2008. If you remember, 2003, the first overall pick, Pittsburgh had it, and they took Marc-Andre Fleury. That worked out pretty damn well.
Former Blackhawk.
Yeah. Also in this draft, not to spoil things, but Ryan Suter is in this draft. Dion Phaneuf, Jeff Carter, Brent Seabrook. You ever hear of him before? Ryan Kessler. Lots of big names in this one. We're going to do that. And then the 08 draft, which was headlined by Steven Stamkos and Drew Doughty, 1 and 2 at the top. But a lot of big names in that one as well. So we're going to start in 03. We spun the wheel of fortune off the air for the 2003 draft. Greg is going to pick first. I will pick second. Mario will pick third, and we will do it in a snake style. So, Mr. Boysen, you are on the clock, and you are selecting for the beloved Pittsburgh Penguins.
Of course, they took Marc-Andre Fleury, the beloved goaltender, first overall. I didn't want this pick because it's a tough call. Like, Fleury was really good for the Penguins, but he also had like a really good team in front of him. And do they win those cups with another good goalie? Probably. I mean, having Sidney Crosby and Malkin and Letang and all those guys, probably more valuable. So I'm going to make a different pick for the Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm going to make this team even better than they were. They may win more than 3 Stanley Cups when they add center Patrice Bergeron with the number 1 overall pick.
I mean,
yeah, hard to argue against that.
The obvious one, right?
I mean, you put Bergeron with Crosby and Malkin down the middle. I mean, yikes.
Good luck.
I mean, we said that a lot because remember the Penguins passed on Jonathan Toews to take Jordan Staal, and we always say, hey, imagine if they had Jonathan Toews in that mix. Well, add Patrice Bergeron, and now you've got the shutdown defensive forward as well. So 10 straight Stanley Cups for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, seriously.
It's interesting to think though, like would Bergeron have had the same kind of career if he was behind Malkin and Crosby?
He'd be Marcus Kruger.
Right, yeah, like would he have been just kind of that more one-dimensional in his game because of the role he would have played? Like, I don't know. It's interesting.
And for reference, in 2003, Patrice Bergeron went 45th overall to the Bruins. So 44 passes on the future Hall of Famer before he was selected.
That's a good pick by the Bruins.
Damn. All right, I'm on the clock now for the Carolina Hurricanes. And I was hoping you would have stuck with Fleury so I could take Patrice Bergeron there. So now I'm a little bit on the fence here. And I think I am going to take Fleury. I'm going to take Marc-Andre Fleury too. I think we are a little bit jaded because the last few years for him haven't been great, but there was a time where he was the best or arguably the best goalie in hockey. And Carolina, I mean, they've had a history of pretty good goalies, but they've never had anyone like Marc-Andre Fleury. So I'm going to take him at 2. There were some guys I passed up on there, but I'll go with him.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, you got a guy that's won multiple cups, even though some of them he wasn't the starter for. Is a guy that's going to go directly to the Hockey Hall of Fame. I mean, it's hard to argue that he shouldn't still be in the top 5, top 3 of this redraft for sure.
Yeah, the Hurricanes, they won a couple years after this draft, and probably still will with Marc-Andre Fleury instead of Eric Staal.
Yeah, it's crazy. The Hurricanes were in the 2002 Cup final, and then the next season they're picking second overall, and they get Eric Staal.
And then they're right back there in 06. So,
yeah.
All right, Mario's got the next 2 picks, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're not taking Nathan Horton or Nikolai Zhurdev with either of these picks.
No, we're gonna have some different names here. Originally, these picks were for Florida and Columbus. So going to the Florida Panthers instead of Nathan Horton is going to be. Oh, it's a tough one. I think I'm going to take, instead of Eric Staal, I'm going to take Ryan Getzlaf.
It's a good pick.
I think I know Staal is had the more longevity than Getzlaf, but I think at their peaks, I'd rather have Ryan Getzlaf than Eric Staal. So I'm going to go with him. He jumps from 19 to 3 on this board.
Pretty good.
Yeah. All right. 4th pick was going to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Here is where I will take Eric Staal. I think hard to argue against the guy that has played the length that he has had the production that he did. His peak was, is he a first ballot Hall of Famer? I don't think so, but he's definitely in that conversation of Hockey Hall of Fame level career. He's won a cup. He's been a top player at his position for a long time during his peak. The longevity has been in his corner. The Staal brothers, they made some news this year, but as far as hockey players, that's quite the family. And Eric, I think, is the best of the bunch.
Yep. I mean, good long career. I think maybe we undervalue him a little bit. I know I do a little bit just because I feel like there hasn't been that Hawks and Staal like crossover or matchup over the years. I feel like we don't see him very often.
Yeah.
But he's been a really good player for a really long time and continues to be an effective player. So that's like what you would call the safe pick of the draft, right? Like that, that's gonna work out well.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I'm on the clock for the Sabres, and I was kind of on the fence about this one, but I think we have to erase recency bias. And when I look at this draft and I look at defensemen, I think Shea Weber is the class of this class, to say class twice in the same sentence. He was just an incredible player. Injuries derailed him. He's now where is he? Who is he property of even anymore? I forget.
Arizona.
Our friends in Arizona.
I figured. So yeah, he's just gonna stay retired like Brent Seabrook, who we'll probably hear from later in the show. But he was just so good for so long. I'll never forget him putting the puck through the net at the Olympics.
Yeah.
He was big. He could score. He had speed for a guy that size. Shea Weber was a great defenseman. So without hesitation, Shea Weber at 5 for the Buffalo Sabres.
Jumps up 44 spots, taking 49th in this draft. Pretty crazy that the Predators got both Ryan Suter and Shea Weber in the same class. Same draft.
Crazy.
And what did it work out to them too?
Yeah, you know.
They have a future banner.
Yes.
Eventual cup winners. All right, you are on the clock, Greg. You're picking at 6 for the San Jose Sharks.
So I get 6 and then 7, correct?
7,
All right.
yeah, San Jose and Nashville.
All right. With 6 in the real draft, the Sharks took right winger Milan Mihalik, who was okay. Played almost 750 games, but definitely not worthy of that pick. So they're looking for a right winger, and the best one in this draft, who, if you base it on games played, you base it on goals and points, all that stuff, and it's really going to change the way their interstate rival, the Los Angeles Kings, look for years to come. But with 6th overall, the San Jose Sharks is taking Dustin Brown.
Ooh,
interesting. Right. Okay.
Changing things up on the West Coast.
Yeah, completely changing that West Coast, and maybe it's the Sharks that the Hawks have to face a couple years in a row in the Western Conference Final instead of the Kings.
Yeah, it could be.
Dustin Brown on that 2010 Kings team, that Western Conference Final might be a little different.
Yeah.
All right, so then 7 is the Predators. And they took the first defenseman of the draft, which was Ryan Suter. And it's hard to argue with Ryan Suter. He had a great career. He's still playing. And, of course, he left Nashville for that huge contract in Minnesota that they're going to be paying off until the end of days. But I hate to do this. And it's going to look really, really bad. But we're going to rewrite history here. And the Nashville Predators are going to take the first defenseman in this draft.
Second defenseman. Sorry, Shea Weber's already gone. Just to get the crazy reaction, welcome to the Nashville Predators, Brent Seabrook. Ouch. That does hurt. I hate to see Brent Seabrook live a life of mid.
Yeah, well, maybe the Predators can get Dustin Byfuglien in the second round, and where they took Suter, and they still have a pretty good pairing back there.
Yeah, maybe.
We're not going to go that far, though.
No. All right, I am honored at 8 to make a pick for the Atlanta Thrashers.
Hey, there you go.
Make it a good one. Make it so good that they stay in town.
Yeah, I'm going to take Joe Pavelski. That's going to be my pick for the Atlanta Thrashers. It's just so hard to say.
197 point pick jump.
Yeah, he was 205th by the San Jose Sharks, and Joe Pavelski still playing. Mm-hmm. And unlike a lot of these guys who are still playing, he's still really effing good.
Yeah.
That's a guy who doesn't look like he's at the end of his career. Joe Pavelski has continued to be awesome. So I like that pick for the the dear departed Atlanta Thrashers.
It's a major upgrade from Braden Coburn, who they originally picked. There.
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely an upgrade. And it hurts my heart that happened right before I was supposed to pick. So,
sorry, buddy.
That's tough. That's one off the board for sure. All right. I now have the 9th and 10th picks. We're going to be drafting for 2 Canadian teams. The 9th pick went to the Calgary Flames. In the original draft, they took defenseman Dion Phaneuf, former EA Sports cover boy, and that was probably the highlight of his career. And the 10th pick was Montreal.
Cuthbert was pretty good.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
Sure. The 10th overall pick went to Montreal. They took Andrei Kostitsyn. So those 2 picks are not going to stay the same. Those picks are going to change. Unfortunately, with Joe Pavelski off the board. I feel like the next forward that I was looking at, it's hard not to take him at this spot, knowing what the peak of his career was. Still playing, very long career. Don't think he'll ever eclipse the 1,000-point mark, but a former Hart Trophy winner as an NHL MVP. I'm going to go with Corey Perry.
Blackhawks.
Perry, future Blackhawks legend, Corey Perry. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like his peak, he was one of the best players in the league. Kind of a Matthew Tkachuk light at his peak, where he wasn't as physical with body checking and stuff. I mean, he'd definitely take some shots at you, but he was a guy who could put up 40 goals, be a threat all over the ice, and could get under your skin. So I feel like a player like that would do pretty well out there in Calgary, where they do like the bull riding. I understand. Yeah. All right, and then Montreal. Again, they went with Kostitsyn originally. I'm looking up and down here, and there's some really good talent on the board, and I think I have a guy who could fit really well in Montreal with. You know what? I actually have man. I'm gonna go with the guy who still has some scoring left in the tank, and I think he may at the end of his career catch the guy that was picked that I'm choosing between in career points. I'm gonna go with Jeff Carter. He went 11th to Philly in the original draft. I'm gonna take him one spot earlier with Montreal. Again, a guy at his peak, just absolutely deadly. Blackhawks fans obviously know of Jeff Carter from his time with both Philly and LA in the during those cup runs. So I'm gonna go Jeff Carter here at number 10 for Montreal.
All right, solid pick. You got a feisty little team on your hands there. I know it's all teams, but damn, that's an assembly of Pud Wax like I've seen.
Yeah. I'm gonna score and get in your face about it.
Exactly. All right, I'm picking now 11th for the Philadelphia Flyers, and boy, I don't really like to see this guy in any team aside from the Blackhawks, but second goalie off the board, Corey Crawford.
Yep.
Happy to take Corey Crawford there. I know that history or whatever has forgotten Corey Crawford. We have not forgotten Corey Crawford in Chicago. Maybe if he'd have played on an East Coast team that was on Versus and NBC Sportsnet, 3 times a week, he would have gotten a little more credit than he got here. But damn, 2-time Cup winner, just a stud goaltender, as steady as they come, as everybody in Chicago knows. So Philadelphia, congratulations, you are the owner of a brand new crow.
Great,
nicely done.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that gives me 2 back-to-back picks here. Number 12 goes to my favorite team in the entire planet, the New York Rangers.
I think it's going to be an upgrade from their original pick.
It can't go much down from where they really screwed the pooch with this pitch with this pick when they took Hugh Jessamine, former Rockford Ice Hog, huge ass man, former Rockford Ice Hogs legend. He signed with the Blackhawks, and then he was actually part of the package along with Jack Skilly that got Michael Frolik from the Florida Panthers. So he actually did some good for the Blackhawks, but he's not getting drafted here. Instead, the Rangers, I know they took a right winger here, so they're going to go with a guy that started as a right winger and now plays defenseman. They're going to take Brent Burns with the 12th overall pick. Burns was originally taken 20th by the Minnesota Wild, so he's bumping up a little bit. And then that leads me now to the Kings, and I've already taken Dustin Brown away from them. So
take someone else away from them.
Who should I give them here?
Hugh Jessamine.
I'm actually going to give them. They went with a winger, so I'll go with a winger here too. They're going to draft American hero Zach Parise, 13th with there. So from Brown to Parise, not much of a fluctuation there. So
yeah, kind of similar guys.
yeah, both American, both good scoring wingers, a little bit of leadership there. Yeah, I don't think that's a huge. In fact, I think they improved a little bit going from Parise to Brown.
Yeah, I'd say Parise's peak was a little bit longer than just Dustin Brown's was.
Oh boy, am I about to do what I'm about to do?
Uh-oh.
I'm picking for the Blackhawks here at 14, where Brent Seabrook was originally selected.
Yeah,
and I feel like if Brent Seabrook hears about this, I'm going to get a fistful. But for the Chicago Blackhawks at 14, I am selecting Ryan Kesler.
Oh,
I thought you were going to go with a different Ryan there.
So,
wow.
Oh,
Ryan Kesler.
I'll talk about it. Let's move on.
He's gonna test that theory that I mean, listen, in all honesty, for a long time, I would have loved Ryan Kesler on those Blackhawk teams.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. He's in the same ilk of that Corey Perry. Like, you know, we're gonna get used to seeing him on the team this season, and I think opinions will change a little bit, but one of those guys that 31 other teams hate to play against. And yeah, Ryan Kesler was one of the best at being that kind of guy.
Pudwack.
Yes, that's the proper term.
That's a Selke trophy winning Pudwack to you, sir.
Sure.
Yeah. Over 1,000 games played. And, you know, if his back didn't betray him, he might still be trying to go for it. All right. Well, I'll round out this draft here. You know, like I said, I've built a team here that is very dangerous both with the puck and without the puck. So I think it's only fitting that I close it out with another player who was very dangerous with and without the puck. He was selected in a round that doesn't exist anymore, and a 230 pick improvement. I will select Stanley Cup champion Dustin Byfuglien.
Nice.
Yeah.
Way to save it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely a lot of good talent that we didn't get to with, like Thomas Vanek, Ryan Suter didn't get picked. But man, it's hard to pass up on a guy like Dustin Byfuglien, both for, you know, his career. He's a guy like Brent Burns, like changed positions midway through his through his career and was versatile, was just a great personality, and just a badass on the ice. So I'm rounding it out for the number 15 pick, which originally went to the New York Islanders. They took Robert Nilsson. So
Harry's brother.
I think Dustin Byfuglien is an upgrade for them.
Well, a couple of noteworthy exclusions: Dion Phaneuf not drafted, David Backes not drafted, Yaroslav Halak not drafted, Jimmy Howard, Braden Coburn, Mike Richards, good for a short time. Nathan Horton, boy, feel like a missed opportunity guy there, huh? With all those concussions.
Yeah.
Yep, those are some of the big names off at 03. So
it's a pretty good draft when you look at it. I mean, they had quite a few guys play over 500 games. Looks like about 30 or 40 guys with over 500 NHL games.
Yeah.
In this draft, and some guys still playing. But yeah, pretty good draft.
I mean, it's regularly heralded as one of the best draft classes of all time. And I mean, when you have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 guys play over 1,000 games. And Marc-Andre Fleury, 15 games short of being the 17th as a goalie.
Yeah.
To play 1,000 games, which he'll eclipse this year. Like, that's incredible. You don't see that very often.
No, you got at least 7 or 8 Hall of Famers in this draft class.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you know, Fleury's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Corey Perry, maybe. Patrice Bergeron, no doubt, is a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Shea Weber, Ryan Suter, they may get there one day.
Yep.
Perry's got a cup and a heart. He's in.
Yeah.
And gold medal, right?
Yeah.
Was he on the 10 or 14 Canada team. I can't remember.
I think he was on the 10. But Brent Seabrook's probably going to get in the Hall of Fame one day. Zach Parise, maybe.
Zach
Joe
Parise,
Pavelski, maybe.
Pavelski needs a cup. I think he needs a cup.
I don't know. 1,250 games, 1,000 points. That's good enough for me without the cup.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a damn good draft. I mean,
with how many omissions there are from the Hockey Hall of Fame, what's one more, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying these guys are first ballots, but I think eventually those guys will get in.
What's amazing too is, this is 20 years ago, and so many of these guys are either active or just finished playing.
Yeah.
And like some of them still at a high level. Like Brent Burns is still playing at a high level. Perry, Pavelski, like we mentioned. Like there's guys that are 20 years after being drafted are still contributing.
Yeah.
So,
Connor Bedard, 20 years.
Corey Perry was on both the 10 and 14 Olympic gold teams.
Okay.
He also won a World Championship gold. He was on the World Cup gold team for Canada. He's a triple gold member, Stanley Cup champion, former MVP. Yeah, World Juniors gold. This guy's been fucking everywhere.
Yeah, and Connor Bedard's dad for one season. So
sure,
he's in.
That's it. Well, that was an enjoyable draft. We're going to do 2008 next, but it is a feel-good Sunnyside Summer Friday, and we always ask the question, who made us feel good this week from Chicago sports? All I know is every day that goes by, we are closer to watching number 98 take the ice for the Blackhawks, and that's going to make me feel all good all summer. And if you want to feel all good all the time, you should head over to our friends at Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. It is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your summer. It's your one-stop shop for all your cannabis needs. No matter where you are in your cannabis journey, easy online ordering and in-store pickup, great transparent loyalty program called Sunnyside Rewards. It is Illinois' favorite dispensary from city to suburbs, Wrigleyville to River North, Champaign to South Beloit. And I know there are people who are very curious about cannabis and feel like it could probably help them sleep or help with their soreness, but they're intimidated by the process of going in to a dispensary. Don't be. Sunnyside, those folks are going to help you out. They're going to make you feel at home. They're not going to make you feel stupid or uneducated. They will help you get exactly what you need. And that's the best part for me about the legalization is I'm not looking to get high anymore. I'm 45. I just want to sleep and I just want to enjoy my night. And Sunnyside helps me do that. My favorite brand is the Good News. They've got the gummies and the rechargeable vape pen. And it's great for, I take the counting sheep to fall asleep. I take the Fry to loosen up before I head out on the town. The Mindy's gummies are awesome as well. It's like taking a warm bath anytime you want. Cresco, High Supply, Floracal, Wonder, Remedy, all these great brands, all available at Sunnyside. Through August, head to sunnyside.shop and use the code CHGO25 at checkout for 25% off your total order. That's one use per customer, not stackable with other promotions, but it's not only for new customers. Anyone can use their code. Pick up everything you need to elevate your summer and your Friday at Sunnyside. Must be 21 plus or an Illinois MedCard holder. Again, that's code CHGO25 at sunnyside.shop for 25% off your total order.
Yep. Love that Sunnyside. It's, especially on a Friday, right?
Yeah.
Sun is out. You're enjoying your cannabis products. It's a good way to start a weekend. Another good way to start a hot, sunny summer day weekend is by saving money on your energy bills. And by doing that, you can reach out to ComEd with their energy efficiency program, which is committed to helping families and businesses in the communities they serve help manage energy usage and lower energy bills now and into the future.
That is right. ComEd offers a wide variety of incentives on lighting and other efficiency upgrades to commercial, industrial, and public sector customers of all sizes across their territory. ComEd also offers free facility assessments that can help find energy-saving opportunities, like for your HVAC systems. Those are very important this time of year. Commercial kitchen equipment, so you can make bacon, or industrial processes.
Bacon. While I think about bacon, Greg, you tell me how the rest of this works.
I can do that. An authorized engineer will work with you to develop a detailed assessment plan specific on your bacon goals and needs. These can be done in person or virtually and last approximately about 2 hours. Within 3 to 4 weeks, you're going to get a report detailing energy efficiency projects that you could start working on immediately. Each recommendation will include estimated energy savings, cost savings, project cost, potential incentives, and simple payback. If you own a business like making bacon, don't wait. Get started saving money and energy today. The Monergy. For Monergy saving tips, lighting incentives, or to schedule your free facility assessment. Once this show is over, go to ComEd.com/poweringbiz.
Did you say ComEd.com/poweringbiz, B-I-Z?
That's what I said. Schedule today.
Nice.
Yeah, do that.
I was thinking about bacon, so I wanted to make it sure.
I've had bacon for 4 consecutive meals, and I'm okay with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
Hey, Lawrence, how much of that? You're not in the office, but I wonder how much of that bacon jam is left. The chorizo bacon.
It was going fast. Let's just put it that way. Shout out to Charlie. That was amazing.
There's no way that's lasting through the weekend.
I mean,
Nope.
I forgot my lunch yesterday, and so I just ate a lot of bacon strips.
Lawrence finished it.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all right. I used we cooked up some of the rosemary bacon, bought a pound of that yesterday from Charlie, and made some fresh BLT sandwiches last night. And then I had we had some extra slices. I had a couple with my breakfast this morning. And then I threw a ham sandwich at lunch too, because there wasn't quite enough salt on my ham sandwich. So I put a strip of rosemary bacon on it too to cap it off.
Yeah, you got to use the whole pig.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my ankles are swollen and I'm going to drop dead in about 35 minutes, but I'm going to go out with a smile on my face.
It's the end of the show, man. That's all we ask. That's fine.
Get through this amazing 2008 draft.
Hey, man, it's July 14th. Back off.
Yeah.
All right.
Watch out for the ankle dents.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I invented those.
Speaking of July 14th, happy 24th birthday to our favorite Chicago Blackhawk, Mackenzie Entwistle.
Our favorite orphan.
Yeah, I mean this is usually a tough day for him, with no family to celebrate with. But
we all sent him cards so he'd feel
we're showing Mackenzie the love that he so dearly wishes he could have.
Yeah, if you want to send him a card, just it's P.O. Box 98 at the Chicago Orphanage. It's in downtown Chicago. Yeah, he'll get your card.
But in all seriousness, this made my day. That Mackenzie's actual dad, Dave Entwistle,
who is actually alive and
who is a real person.
Tweet.
He does tweet, and he loves to tweet about his son. He responded, said, "So funny with the beer cheersing emoji." So hey, seems like Dad Dave is in on the joke too.
Yes.
Well, based on how good of a human being Mackenzie is, it's no surprise that Dave and Margaret, Margaret is yes, they're both active on Twitter, so they've done a heck of a job, and should be proud of their hockey playing son.
Yes.
Yeah, he is a good dude, and we're rooting for him. That's for damn sure. All right, up now is the 2008 draft. Not quite as stacked as the last one, but still pretty good. You had Stamkos and Doughty 1 and 2 at the top. Zach Bogosian, Alex Pietrangelo, Luke Schenn. A lot of guys that were good for a long time, right? Like not a ton of studs. Erik Karlsson was drafted 15. He's really good. But when you look through this list, there's not a ton of superstars, but a lot of guys that played for a long time and were contributors for a long time. So who has the first pick? Mario, you're on the clock for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Will anything change?
No. I'm going to keep Steven Stamkos in his number 1 overall selected spot. Look, I mean, this guy has just been a freaking stud his entire career. Immediately jumped into the NHL, and was a dynamic goal scorer. Up until Matthews just recently did it a few years, 2 seasons ago, might have been, was the last 60 goal scorer in a season. So, I mean, it's to accomplish that is pretty incredible. Over 1,000 games, over 1,000 points, over 500 goals. He's captained the Lightning to multiple Stanley Cups, and also seems like one of the genuine, like, nice, good guys in the league. Like, some of these guys sometimes, they're captains and they put on faces or whatever. Stamkos seems like he's a genuinely nice guy, good leader. So yeah, I don't think there's any reason to go any different direction at number one.
You know what's amazing about Stamkos is it's a guy who dealt with serious injury problems and missed a ton of time. And you thought when he came back, it'd be like, okay, well, he's going to start to fade and not going to be the same guy. Nope. Last year, he had 106 points in 2021-22. In 2022-23, he had 84 points in 81 games. I mean, that's 190 points over the last, 162 games. That's pretty impressive.
In his, in his 30s too.
Yeah,
you don't see that too often in this day and age where, getting over 30 in the NHL, you start likely seeing declines in guys. So no signs of slowing down anytime soon for him.
And not to go on too huge of an aside, but I think you guys know, like, a hot button thing for me is like, well, this series is boring because the markets aren't big, right? Like, a lot of people like, oh, the NHL hates this. Well, you know what? You shouldn't. And the fact that Steven Stamkos plays in Tampa Bay, I do feel like has hurt his, like, endorsement possibilities, but that's a league failure. I'm sorry for this guy. Faces of the league for the day he stepped on the ice. It's a huge miss. You're trying to grow the sport. He's a good dude. He's a great player. I don't know. It feels like it's very Mike Trouty, but I feel like Stamkos has more personality than Trout does.
He's in that commercial with Hedman. That's a pretty funny one. But that's just recently. Yeah. I mean, and he also had the opportunity to go and get all those endorsements by playing with the Leafs when he was a free agent a few years ago. But he stuck in Tampa, and it worked out very well for him.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, he could have gone, and everybody had him already in a Maple Leafs sweater, and he said, nope, I'm going to stay here where I've established myself, and no state income tax. So all that money that I'm getting, I'm actually getting.
Yeah.
Stamkos, I think, still criminally underrated. I don't think he ever has gotten the credit that he deserves for being as good. And imagine if he hadn't suffered some of those major injuries, where he'd be. I always think of that, running into the net and breaking his leg and missing it. That was right before the Olympics, wasn't it? Yep. I mean, he missed a ton of games. He's been really good at staying on the ice for the past 5, 6, whatever it is, years for the most part. But man, he's got over 1,000 games played and could have about 1,300 and all those extra points. But hard to argue not taking him number one.
An all-time great. All right, Greg, you are on the clock for the LA Kings.
Yeah, I'm going to be boring and just stick with who they took. They took Drew Doughty, the defenseman number 2, and they're still going to take Drew Doughty, defenseman number 2. There were 12 defensemen taken in the first round of this draft and some pretty good ones. But Drew Doughty has the most games played of anybody in this draft, 1,095 games and counting. He's still a very important part of that team. 619 points. He's got a Norris. He's got 2 Stanley Cups. In a draft where they took a ton of defensemen early, he was the first one taken, and it's proven right. He's still the best one. You can argue Erik Karlsson might be better. Not at playing defense, at offense, sure, but like if I'm going into a Stanley Cup playoff run, I'm taking Drew Doughty in his prime over Erik Karlsson in his prime.
That's fair argument to me. I mean, I don't think he had many people that would disagree with that. I mean,
yeah,
at all. He was kind of like mini Duncan Keith in my mind. Like Keith was kind of better at everything than he was, but he was just a notch below during that time. He
was what he was to the Kings, what Duncan Keith was to the Blackhawks.
Yeah, but Doughty's still playing and Keith is not. So there you go. All right, I'm also going to take a defenseman here, as I am honored once again to pick for the Atlanta Thrashers.
Mr. Thrashers.
I'm going to take Roman Josi. who I would argue is the best defenseman of this draft. I think he's got an argument. Doughty's great. He's got the hardware. He's got all the accomplishments. It's not Roman Yossi's fault. He's a predator. That dude is great and remains great and kind of does it all. So I don't think it's a leap at all to take Roman Josi at third. I think he's an awesome player. Originally drafted number 38 by Nashville, which is impossible because I thought you had to pick in the top 5 for your players to be good.
Yeah, the internet usually tells me that.
Top 2. Top 2 only. Yeah. Big upgrade from Zach Bogosian, who was originally drafted here. No slam on Zach. He's a solid player.
He's also had a fine career.
Yep. All right, I'm back on the clock now for the Blues. Can I just tank this pick on purpose? Is that
yes?
You could.
Hugh Jasmin. I am going to take Erik Karlsson here at 4. I know it's he is an imperfect defenseman, but damn, in terms of offense, he is. It's him in a different category than every other offensive defenseman of this era. So give me Erik Karlsson at 4 for the St. Louis Blues.
All right,
that's a good that's a solid pick. And look, we talk about longevity and being at peaks of careers. It's Karlsson, he went a long, what was it, 8 years between Norris wins, something like that. And the first guy since the early 90s as a defenseman to score 100 points, that's nothing to scoff at. Sure, he did it on a terrible team, and he was the lowest minus a Norris winner has ever been. But those offensive numbers, man, you just can't deny that on the especially on the team he did it with. So hopefully he it seems like he's on the move eventually this summer. Hopefully he lands with a contender and can have some playoff success.
Yeah, poor guys, Ottawa and San Jose. It's
he's had one good run to the Eastern Conference Finals in his career. Oh no, was he with San Jose when they went to the Cup final? No, right? I don't
think so.
No, he wouldn't have been. No, because he was with Ottawa. He was still with Ottawa the next year.
Yeah. And what was it? What did we say? What is it? 75 or 76 of those 101 points were 5-on-5 this year.
Yeah,
it was what a silly season he had.
And he's minus 26.
Yeah. I mean, well, you don't. Yeah. So good luck to whoever trades for him. Hopefully, you don't give up the farm because I'm not expecting many more 100-point seasons out of Erik Karlsson, but who knows? I didn't expect one this year, so
yeah. All right, Greg, you have the honor of choosing for the most prestigious franchise in all of sports, your Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yay! They originally took Luke Shen with this pick, who they brought back years later
to right a wrong.
Yes, and they didn't win with him either time.
Nope.
I'm going to stick on the blue line, and I'm going to get them an upgrade here. A guy that was just passed up, originally taken 4th by the Blues. I'm taking Alex Pietrangelo and putting him on the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I think that it turns out better for them than Luke Shen.
Probably, yes. They don't have to reacquire him years later.
Yeah. All right, Mario, you are on for the Ass Jackets and the Asheville Predators.
Oh, nice.
6 and 7.
Mid-level drafting right here.
Yes. Who will be damned to the mid? Let's see. Man, we've had just a run of defensemen, but like you said, this was a stacked defensive class.
Yes, it was.
I'm gonna continue to go with defensemen. And I'm gonna go with a guy, another Norris winner, guy who's had a very solid career. His peak was a little short, but he's still a very solid defenseman. I'm gonna go with John Carlson, originally drafted 27th overall in this draft by the Capitals. He is going to go to Columbus instead of Nikita Filatov. I think that's an upgrade for them.
An upgrade, yes.
All right. And Nashville's original pick was Colin Wilson at number 7. So I'm going to stick with a forward for them. And I am going to go with Jordan Eberle. 940 career games, 658 career points. Very solid career. Still continuing to play. I think he'll definitely eclipse 1,000 games played. Originally selected 22nd by Edmonton in this draft. He goes number 7 to Nashville.
Solid pick.
All right. That leaves me with our friends at the Phoenix Coyotes, yet to be the Arizona Coyotes. And they selected Michael Bodker here with this pick. Is a nice, solid player. But I'm going to go in a different direction here. And I'm going to pick a guy that was originally picked 9th by the Islanders. We're going to slot him up once. And that is Blackhawks legend for all 3 hours, Josh Bailey.
Oh, yes. The Josh Bailey era. That was a fun time.
That was the best. The Josh Bailey era lasted as long as it took us to eat our scrambled eggs and bacon at the NHL Draft.
At our exclusive table.
Yes, which was a top of a garbage can, which was fitting for the Josh Bailey era.
They made that term like, all right, yeah, that makes sense. It's kind of like the thing of it. No, and then, he's not. What happened?
Which we still have to post it, but when you watch the behind the scenes of our trip to the draft that was produced by Ryan Green, the videographer extraordinaire from DNVR, when you go back and watch that, I am interviewed at the beginning of day 2, and it was literally a minute or 2 after we got the news that Josh Bailey was traded to the Blackhawks. And you can see in my face, I'm so excited. I'm like, wow, they got Josh Bailey. Like, this is kind of cool. Things are moving. And then an hour later, nope, he is being bought out. But hey, good thing they didn't print up any Bailey jerseys.
Yep. All right. Well, now I'm on the clock for the Islanders, who just lost Josh Bailey. So that's a shame. I'm going to take goaltender Braden Holtby.
Solid
pick. Time where he was the best or one of the top 3 or 4 in the league.
Yeah.
And then just fell off a cliff. Holy cow. When he left Washington, it was just over.
He won his cup, and then that was it.
Yeah. That was a little bit surprising. So Braden Holtby goes 9 to the Islanders. Now I'm also on the clock at 10 for the Canucks. One of my favorite players in the league. Little guy. What do you call it? Short King? Mario? King. Is that the right thing?
Yeah, Short King.
Cam Atkinson.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan of Cam Atkinson. So I'll put him on the Canucks, so I have to hate him now. There you go.
Yeah, I've Cam Atkinson is one of those guys that just always seemed like he always was around. Like I feel like anytime the Blackhawks and Blue Jackets would play, I felt like I always was noticing Cam Atkinson. So yeah, solid player.
Yep. All right, Greg, you have the honors for the Blackhawks, who in this spot took Kyle Beach.
Yeah, we're skipping that pick because, well, I mean, lots of issues, but he never played in the NHL, and who knows if he ever would have in an alternative universe. But I am going to go with a guy who has the 3rd most goals of this draft class. Steven Stamkos is 1 with 515. Jordan Eberle is 2 with 282, and 3 with 239 career goals. And would have looked real nice in that 2C slot behind Jonathan Toews. Adam Henrique, welcome to the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yep. I like that. I like that pick. That would have been a tremendous fit if the Blackhawks could have gone with a Toews, Henrique, Bolin 1, 2, 3 down the middle. That would have been pretty solid.
There's your perpetual Hanzus, Brad Richards. You wouldn't have had to address all those issues.
Every year it was who's going to be the second center, who's going to be. Yeah. It was like third base for the Cubs all those years until Ramos Ramirez showed up. Who's going to be your second line center? Adam Henrique would have solved that problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's for sure. Good pick. All right, now Mario's on the clock with Buffalo at 12 and the Kings at 13.
All right. Buffalo originally selected giant defenseman Tyler Myers.
Calder Trophy winner Tyler Myers.
That's true. That is true. Look, he's not a bad player. Not a bad player. But I'm gonna go with a guy that I think is his peak is better. I'm gonna keep them taking a defenseman. I'm gonna have a 144 pick jump.
Ooh,
here's Jared Spurgeon to the Buffalo Sabres.
Sure.
Solid defenseman. 851 games played, current captain for the Minnesota Wild. Like I think at this point in his career, I'd rather have Jared Spurgeon than Tyler Myers. So maybe his peak wasn't as high as Myers was for a few years, but I think his effectiveness, usefulness, staying up top in a defensive lineup at this stage of his career is more valuable than what Myers brings to the table.
Nice.
All right, so now number 13 for the Kings. They originally took Colton Tubert, defenseman who played 24 games in the NHL with 1 assist. So I think whoever I take is going to be an upgrade.
I would hope. Well, that makes that Drew Doughty pick look even better.
Yes. Okay. So they went defense as well. Let's see. Who could I get as a defenseman? Oh, TJ Brody, not bad.
Hugh Jasserman.
Hugh Jasserman. Could he get redrafted? I could trade the pick for Hugh Jasserman.
Yeah. I think his best days are yet to come.
Yeah.
Jury's still out.
Definitely.
Little Hugh.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go with TJ Brody. Originally selected 114th overall by Calgary. 830 games played, 322 points. Another guy who has been a solid mid lineup defenseman for a long time. He had some more spirited years with the Calgary Flames early on in his career, but yeah, I think he's a very solid defenseman, a guy that you could still slot in as a number 4, number 5 guy and be very happy with that.
Solid. All right, Greg, you're up next with the Carolina Hurricanes.
All right. Originally, they took Zach Boychuk, who
the social media savant himself.
Yeah, his biggest accomplishment of his career was literally following every single Twitter user ever.
And then unfollowing all of them.
And then refollowing them all again. Yeah. That's far more than he ever did in the NHL, which was, let's see here, 127 games, 30 points. I mean, that's not what you'd want at 14. So I'm going to give them, Boychuk was a center, so they were obviously looking for some center depth at this point in time. So I'm going to give them a center that was originally drafted. Where is he? He is right. He was originally drafted 51st by the New York Rangers, thus preventing the Hurricanes for signing him 13 years later in 2021. Derek Stepan is going to play his whole career with the Carolina Hurricanes. This is a guy that real solid career. He's got, let's see here. Why does he keep falling off my screen? He's so good. I can't keep him on my screen, but he's played 890 games, 515 points, solid guy. And he's a former Badger. So Mario likes him.
He sure is.
There you go.
He sure is.
All right. Mr. Irrelevant falls to me at 15. I'm picking for the Ottawa Senators, who in that spot got Erik Karlsson. Very impressive. Good pick right there.
Good value.
But I'm going to stick with their trend of taking a defenseman. I am going to take Travis Hamonic. Good player for a long time. Not spectacular by any means. Truth be told, I had Derek Stepan on my list there, so you kind of screwed me there. But Travis Hamonic is my pick at 15 for the Ottawa Senators because it's 793 NHL games, 229 points. So not a huge point producer, but a good, reliable defenseman. So
yeah,
give me Travis Hamonic at 15.
So,
and I mean, again, this is a draft that was just loaded with guys who had success, like Justin Schultz, who was picked 43rd at 675 NHL games, 2 Stanley Cups for him.
Mm-hmm.
Jake Allen was picked in the second round. Jacob Markstrom in goal, 2 goalies right there. I mentioned Jimmy Hayes was picked there.
Yep.
So yeah, Michael Stone picked in the third round that year.
I mean, he's not a very notable point producer, but 898 games for Matt Martin picked in the 5th round. Like, in a time where guys like him, players like him started to fall off in the last couple of years. I mean, he was able to find a home for nearly 900 games in the NHL, still active as far as I understand. So as a 5th round pick, It's not bad.
Yeah, this was a draft of, like we talked, the last draft, 03, had a ton of Hall of Famers in it. This one, not a lot of Hall of Famers, but a lot of like Hall of very good, like solid guys that, never all-stars or superstars, but very good players. You mentioned the likes of like Matt Martin, TJ Brody was in this draft, Marco Scandella,
Gustav Nyquist.
Yep. Jake Gardner was in this draft as well. So some good ones. And then there's Dale Weiss. But Jacob Markstrom was in this draft. Braden Holtby, as Jay took him. Jay Gallen.
So is the Cooper Manning of the Staal family, Jared Staal, who played 2 NHL games.
Oh yeah, Jared Staal. Yeah, of course. How could you forget?
Yeah, I'm scrolling down this list and I'm like, oh my God, Ed, I'm getting thrown back to my days in the AHL going, oh, I know these guys.
Ben Smith was selected by the Blackhawks 169th overall in this draft.
Yeah.
Nice.
You can't spell Ben Smith without B-E-S-T.
That's true.
That is technically correct.
Yes.
Tommy Wingles was in this draft.
Oh, another guy the Hawks cannot live without.
Yeah.
They gotta get this Wingles. He's from Chicago.
Because he's got to play for his hometown team.
Yes.
Remember when they got him and like Edzo's PR mission to like sell us Tommy Wingles as a good player, and it's like, hey Eddie, I love you, but I have eyeballs. This guy is not that great.
Man, they had Wingles jerseys in the Madhouse store. That for me was like, oof. Is this where we're at?
Well, they were hoping that the crowd from Northbrook would come down and buy all those jerseys.
Yeah.
Lance Boma,
Northbrook.
Another Blackhawks legend, Lance
Boma.
Jimmy Hayes was in this draft.
Yep.
Oh man.
Good deep like you said, lots of very good, not great players.
Victor Tikhonov. Remember him?
Another Blackhawks legend.
Blackhawk, yeah. Signed him because he was
friends with Panarin, right?
Yeah, he was to Artemi Panarin what Thomas Kopechki was to Marian Hossa. He went and got his dry cleaner and coffee every morning.
Worth it. All right, we are. Look at that. Look at the time. We're out of time already. Thanks everybody for joining us. We got to tell you a couple other things, but remember, you're going to want to join us at our north side, south side, crosstown takeovers. We're going to tell you about that in a second. But first, you want to look good at the takeovers. Still get fitted out in the best sports gear around. Hoodies, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, banana hammocks, and everything in between. It is baseball season. It's here. Get your Cubs or White Sox Aloha shirts, your straw hats, your polos, your bags, everything you need to look cool and stay cool at a baseball game. When we're in studio, you see our great set decorations, all of them donated by our friends at FOCO. Get yourself some sweet branded NHL MLB merch at FOCO.com or click the link in our description below for all non-pre-sale items. Use the promo code CHGO to save 10% off. Again, that is FOCO.com.
Yeah, and you mentioned the crosstown takeovers. Those are coming up. First one later this month. White Sox hosting the Chicago Cubs. I believe that is July 16th coming up?
Yeah.
Or no, 25th, I believe. No, 26th. I was completely wrong. July 26th. That is coming up. That's going to be a lot of fun. Then August 16th, the two teams head north to Wrigley Field when the Cubs host the White Sox. The mid-off will be a lot of fun to watch. So join us there. You can get tickets to those events for those takeovers. Come hang out with us. Get your north side or south side shirts. Love those designs. Those are some sweet designs. I would love to maybe see if those hats could be fashioned and sold for us here as CHGO merch. I think that some people were actually asking for that to happen. Let's see if we can make that a possibility. But yeah, come on out, north side and south side. Join us for some night baseball, some hot, sweaty summer nights. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. AllCHGO.com is the place to go. And if you're a diehard, you save on the event. You save on everything at the CHGO locker. And when you sign up, you get a free shirt or hat of your choice. So after a little while, it pays for itself. So become a diehard today, because guess what? Bears season is right around the corner. We got those tailgates for every home game. I know we're going to do a United Center takeover for the Hawks this year. So now is the time to become a diehard. Pick out that free shirt, and we'll meet you at any of our great CHGO events. All right, we are back on Monday. Yes, Mario.
I was going to say, speaking of Bears tailgates, I don't know if you guys saw this information, but the DNVR crew is heading to Chicago for when the Denver Broncos take on the Chicago Bears. So the DNVR crew is going to be out there for that weekend's takeover. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That will be fun. I did not know that. That's a good time.
Good thing the one couch in the office is a pull-out bed. They can all crash at the office.
Exactly.
If the Airbnb plans fall through, they can sleep at the office.
Absolutely. All right. Before we head out, make sure you smash that like button for us on the YouTube page. Podcasters, it's a Friday. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It takes 30 seconds. It's free. It really, really helps us. We'll talk to you Monday at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. confirmed on Monday on the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast.